because once they're in the ground, they're not moving.
I realized it wasn't quite as ready as I thought.
And it just worked really great.
And as you guys watch them grow, you'll know exactly what variety they are. I have a question that I'd love to throw out there.
Hey guys, welcome back. A couple weeks ago I shared that we were going to get some apple trees, and they called me today and said that they were ready. So here they are. They're 4 Cortlands. They said that they're about ready to plant now. They wanted to wait for the root balls to get nice and tight. So anytime this week, I think I'm going to try to wait for my afternoon off. But we're going to dig holes out in the yard and have a little mini orchard.
We are out here trying to figure out exactly where we want to place these apple trees. We were originally going to put them on the far end of the property beyond the garden, but we're now thinking between the garden and this maple that we have. The house is on the other side of that. So we're kind of trying to set it up so that when you're coming from the house direction, you sort of walk through the apple trees in order to get to the garden. And of course, they'll be much more full someday. Just trying to think this out. This is kind of our canvas that we get to play on a little bit. But we're just gonna put them in place for now, think on them for a couple days just to make sure.
So right now we're just walking around, making
walkabout on the property.
Making sure we're getting a look at the trees from all angles, because once they're in the ground, they're not moving.
They're staying there, yep. And it's a beautiful, peaceful night.
Absolutely, the sky is.
The camera's
really
not
pretty.
picking it up, of course, but
It's a really peaceful night. Weston's asleep.
I'm foraging for little wildflowers.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of putting our thumbprint. This is one of the ways we're putting our thumbprint on this little piece. We've already changed.
One of many, yeah.
We've already changed this property that we have a lot since you first moved in. And since we bought it, it has changed a lot. I wish we had more footage of before. But
Yeah.
anyways, it's making some change and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a couple days later and we wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of what the backyard looks like now that those trees are gone. It has significantly opened it up.
Yeah, it just feels so much bigger back here. I mean, we felt the trees were taking up a lot of space, but they weren't the healthiest trees. There was some vines that had started to grow up them, but we didn't expect it to feel like it opened it up this much.
We knew they were large, but I didn't realize it was that much space, the large one in particular.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a fence from the corner of the house to the corner of the cedar. I don't know if it'll be this summer or not, maybe.
And that'll offer us a lot of privacy from the road.
Yep, because this is really the only private part of our yard that we have. We have a road that goes in front of our house and then another road that goes on the other side of our house. So we are kind of seen from all sides, but we kind of want this area to be a little bit of a private area. So.
We plan to do some pavers along the grass.
Yep, the chicken coop will be...
Chicken coop's gonna have a run directly to the right of it.
Yep.
Really soon, actually.
Yeah, that's got to get going soon because our chicks are quickly outgrowing their dog cage.
Yeah, but overall we're really pleased with it. It opens it right up and starting to see our vision come to life, huh?
Absolutely.
Our rhubarb plant is ready to be harvested, and so I'm gonna go out while Weston naps, get the rhubarb off of that, and come in and make a strawberry rhubarb pie. As I got into the plant, I realized it wasn't quite as ready as I thought, but I harvested it anyway because I really want to make this pie today. I'm actually going to be doubling my recipe because I found that strawberry rhubarb pie filling freezes really well. So I'll show you how I lay that out, label it, and freeze it for another time. I'll be honest with you, I'm getting a little bit of help with my pie crust today. I'm trying this out for the first time. It's the Bob's Red Mill gluten-free pie crust. Weston is awake now. He's eaten his cucumber right over there. Is that good? Yeah. I used to make my pie crust from scratch religiously, but it's just kind of not the stage of life I'm in now. I have a lot of little interruptions, but doing something like this makes me feel like I'm cheating less than buying those pre-made rollout ones. So anyways, giving myself a little bit of grace, finding ways to make things a tiny bit simpler, and I'll let you know what I think of it. As it turns out, I don't have enough rhubarb to make 2 fillings, unfortunately. But when I do make 2 fillings and freeze one, I do it kind of a particular way, so I wanted to tell you that. I let the filling cool completely, then I put it in a gallon baggie and flatten it completely out. And then I put it in a 2nd gallon baggie just to ensure the airtightness. And I put it in the freezer flat like that. And I find that it's really helpful when you're pulling it out and thawing it later. It just thaws more evenly, and it doesn't have as much water seemingly added to the filling. I also wanted to mention, this is cooking down right now, I wanted to mention this baking blend, sugar blend that I use in baking. It's by the brand Whole Earth, and it's a raw sugar and stevia blend, and you can literally cut your sugar consumption in half. If it calls for a 1/2 cup, you put a 1/4 cup, and it tastes amazingly sweet. So I absolutely recommend this for baking. It's just much healthier for you. Well, there's the pie. Definitely not my favorite crust to work with. It was a little bit difficult to thin out, so I wasn't able to flute it like I usually do. Not my prettiest pie, but Weston, do you think it'll be yummy?
Yeah.
Yummy. Is that hot?
Hot.
We don't touch, right? It's hot. Can you say pie? Pie.
Papa.
Oh, don't touch. We're gonna have Ben's grandparents over to enjoy it with us. Hopefully it goes down good. A couple weeks back, Ben finished building a watering system for our garden using our 4-wheeler and a big barrel, and I don't think we've shown it to you guys yet, so we're gonna take you outside, show you what he has made, what he's MacGyvered up, and it's so much simpler than having to lug buckets of water back and forth like we've done the past 2 years. So let's go show you what he's made.
I was gonna show it to you out near the garden, but it was just so windy, I don't think you would have heard me. So I just finished watering the garden, and I just wanted to explain a little bit of what everything is. This is a 30-gallon barrel from the barn that we had lying around, and this is a little electric water transfer pump that hooks up to the battery of the 4-wheeler that my father-in-law gave me. It's just something from Harbor Freight, and I have it hooked up to this coiled air hose that actually worked pretty good because it allows me to walk like 20 feet away from the 4-wheeler, but it's not that long itself. And I have a little nozzle on the end, and it just worked really great. We're out here sitting in the backyard, and we thought it would be a neat time to sit and talk with you about what we've planted in the garden now that we're all done with that, and we actually have plants starting to come up.
And as you guys watch them grow, you'll know exactly what variety they are. We've had a couple people ask, what did you plant for this? So. Yeah,
we actually
we'll go through them.
We have our seed packets here. We have a lot of leftover seeds, so we'll be able to use them in years to come if we like them.
And store them well.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess let's start with what's in our raised beds.
Okay.
We have one whole raised. We have 3 total. One full one is just carrots, and that's a bolero.
Bolero carrots.
Variety.
They're supposed to be like medium length.
and that they store well.
They store well.
We were
that's right.
looking for that quality on a lot of our seeds.
That was pretty much our whole goal with gardening this year, was what stores the best, especially in a cellar, because we didn't want to freeze as much. We have a lot of freezer space, but it's pretty much full of meat, so
Yeah.
we wanted to have a lot of cellar storage vegetables.
Yep. We focused on the things that really save us money. Carrots, onions. Sorry, and potatoes. I couldn't remember my 3, but those are my 3, and then definitely plenty of tomatoes for our sauces.
Yep. So you mentioned onions. That was just a regular yellow onion, and they came up great. I think every single one germinated, which is
40
cool.
of those. What else do we have to raise about? The asparagus, which is, we're on year 2 of the many, and those aren't producing for us yet. But
Yep. And then we have a few different kinds, or 2 different kinds of lettuce. We have an arugula and a romaine, and we're going to be eating off that probably within a week.
Yeah.
It's coming right along
super
quick.
exciting, because we go through a lot of lettuce, and those boxes of lettuce at the store are $4.99 a piece. So that'll be a huge cost saver.
We can
and
cut
I'm
that
also
almost
hoping,
every day.
Yeah, and I'm also hoping to be able to give a lot of that to family.
Yep.
So,
So out in the garden, we have the tomatoes that I started back in April, I think it was, and those are an Amish paste, which are great for canning and making sauces, which is probably easily the #1 thing we do with tomatoes. So.
And we planted more than we needed on that. We planted 15 plants in the ground, and then we gave several to your grandfather, a couple to my mother. So.
And still have a couple left over that I'll probably just throw in some 5-gallon buckets or something so that they don't go to waste. Next is our squash. We have 6 butternut squash and 6 acorn squash. But one of the acorns failed to come up, so there's only going to be 5 of those.
And that's another thing that will store really well for us.
Yep.
And then just the other day, my grandfather gave me some seeds that are kind of like a family seed line. For my great-grandmother who has passed away, she planted Green Delicious squash, which I've never tasted that, but he says it's really good, really rich in color, on the drier side of squashes. And I just think it's so neat that they've been saving those seeds and doing that same line every year, and that I was the recipient of some of those seeds.
Yeah,
so
I thought that was so cool when she brought those home, because your grandmother passed away 2 years ago. So, and she grew these squash year after year and saved the seeds, and so they were
right
her
into
own.
her 80s and 90s.
Yeah, she was into her 90s, and so these were her own vegetables that she had kept seeds from year after year after year, and now we have them. So I think that's really exciting and just really
We're all about that
too.
nostalgic sort of thing. Yeah.
So that's neat. And then
So we found space in the garden for that. Those ones. Like
yep.
we didn't have anything planned out for those, but we made it work.
Yep, we fit them in. We also have some potatoes, as you saw me planting. There was the Kennebecs and the Norland Reds.
Yep, the Kennebecs is more like comparable to a Yukon Gold, which we use for more mashing.
And the Norland Red's like a fingerling, like a saute, a roasting potato.
Yeah.
And those are coming up great, really well.
Yeah.
And
then we did 2 pumpkin varieties, and we're kind of going more for looks on these, or one we're going for function, one we were going for look.
Right. So
I'm done buying pumpkins. You can spend a lot of money on pumpkins just to decorate your house, and why not grow them yourself? So.
Yep. So the one for function is Cinnamon Girl. That's a pie pumpkin. So we're gonna try to make some pumpkin pie filling and have it.
Pumpkin puree to store.
Yep. And then the last one is Flat Stacker, which is a white flat pumpkin.
Yeah, those will look really neat ornamentally, like on the step, and you can stack them, and they're not the perfect looking type by any means, but that's not what I was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is that all?
I think so.
Yeah, pretty neat.
So in the future videos, we are going to do a complete yard tour. You've pretty much seen all parts of our yard at this point, but it's been kind of in bits and pieces. So
we're gonna go through and give you a full tour, almost like you'd do a home tour, but of our yard here, of our property, and
see everything we've got going on.
See everything in relation to each other.
Yeah.
And kind of talk about our plans, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because we've done a lot, but there's also a lot more that we've planned to do. So it'll be neat to share that with you too. Yeah.
So I have a question that I'd love to throw out there of what do you all want to see on our channel here. We've had some suggestions, and lawn tour was one of them, a home tour was one of them, so that will come soon too. But we want to share content that's interesting to you all that you want to see. So comment down below what you'd like to see, or even just something you'd like us to discuss and share our thoughts on.
And if you can't think of anything to suggest, let us know what some of your favorite videos we've done in the past are. That way we have an idea of what is clicking with you guys. So.
Yeah, what interests you all, certainly. So thank you guys for watching this week's video. Thanks for coming back week after week to watch our videos that we post each Thursday.
I'd like to add, we just hit 100 subscribers, which is a little victory compared to most YouTube people, but I think that's kind of neat.
Hey, yeah, 100 subscribers. Thank you, all of you out there that watch us weekly. So, pretty neat.
Make sure you subscribe.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.